Ho, ho, ho! I haven't seen this much dough since my days at the track.
The track?
Yeah, you know, the reindeer games, and, oh, hey, I might be able to catch the last race. Gotta go, kid. Here's your cut.
This is a test. This station is conducting a test of the emergency broadcasting system. This is only a test.
Hello, Internet. What's going on? Welcome to Snow Time / December. Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hi. How's everyone doing tonight? Feeling festive?
Wonderful. Getting there.
Yeah.
Pretty good, yeah.
Yes, very festive.
Who brought the best sweater? Easy. Yours is pretty great. What's yours? What's going on
mine's
there?
pretty good. Look at the Santa. Look at his face.
Pretty
It's
jolly.
pretty good.
Very
It
It
jolly.
has bells on it as well.
Oh, actual bells. Okay, that's pretty
Actual
good.
bells.
I'm rocking a Snorlax Christmas sweater right now.
Oh, that's a good one.
It's pretty good. And is that it? Is it just us?
I
I
got
think
my
it's just us. Oh,
I got my tree up, and I got
And you got your hat.
and
Yeah.
Santa hat. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the ones that you can flip back and forth, so it can be red or it can be green if
Oh
you
my
pet it
goodness.
the right way.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness, folks, get
It's a
ready
good
for more of
time.
this.
I don't believe in green. I believe that's an assault on the war on Christmas.
My only good Christmas sweater is too thick, so I didn't want to wear it. Oh, I mean, the vertex shading on it is
Nailed it.
too
Bumpy.
loud.
The bump
You have
map.
to fix the shader. It's broken right
Mhm.
now.
Yeah.
Sounds like a
Oh,
shader.
I got a
Yeah.
tube, and I've got oh, it's not gonna be visible. I got 1080 snowboarding playing on this other monitor,
Oh,
which is
yeah.
very Christmassy.
I can kind of see it. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Sure.
That is
Yeah,
Go,
good.
go
I got
for
the
it, Ricky
N64 for
Wickenborn.
Christmas years ago. Yeah,
Nice.
gotta play
great
the
game.
Canadian.
You ever played 1080 when you were like as a kid in like a McDonald's or something when they had those 64 kiosks set up? Do you remember that? 1080
Oh,
was one of
yeah.
the games there that it was always it. Anyways, folks, hi, welcome. Thanks for joining us as we do more of this tonight. However, we also have some presentations that we're going to get to. Welcome to December. Do we have any announcements before we get going tonight? Did we come up with anything? There's some jams happening, right?
Yeah.
Who knows what jams are happening?
Proc Jam is live, so if you want to get your procedural generation on, that's going on itch.io. I think it's going on until the end of the weekend, but they are allowing late submissions, so it's pretty relaxed in terms of the rules, but the whole idea is make something procedural, which, hey, I'm a big fan of, so go do that.
Late submissions are my favorite submissions. You too could be a late submitter. Lame Jam just happened, right? And that's Angel on Fire is calling that out in the chat. That was a Carlton Jam. Apparently that went well. Awesome. Congrats to all
Right.
jammers. Come show your game off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was there any other ones?
I got an announcement.
Oh,
I got a really cute kitty cat right
that's
here.
worth a net. That's worth
And,
an
and so does
announcement.
Yes.
Kezia. She's got famous
Yeah,
Yuffie
we
right
got
on her wall.
Yuffie. Say hi, Yuffie.
Yeah.
Hi. My cat's on the
Yuffie.
ground and really old, so I'm not going to pick him up, but he's here at spirit too. He's about this big.
Yeah, mine will probably start coming on and meowing incessantly sometime soon.
There was an actual announcement, right? Before we got sidetracked.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
so there's also the 7-day FPS currently ongoing.
Yeah.
That is on it as well. You can look that up, make an FPS, or something first person that's not a shooter, but it's fine.
FPS can mean whatever you want. It can be
Yeah.
first person suspenders.
Yeah.
Make a suspenders game.
There's also on itch.
Yeah.
itch.io
That's the
is
controller?
The
Yeah.
World Land Trust bundle is currently going on.
Yes.
My game Spring Falls is in it, and there's a bunch of other games, some of which are also nature themed. And it's raising money for the World Land Trust to try and protect areas of nature in the world. Yes.
The natural environment.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if you want to help do that,
natural
you can buy the
environment.
bundle.
Sorry, what was the full name of that again, Eric?
It is the World Land Trust bundle.
The link there in the chat.
Yes, it's currently raised $62,000.
Dude, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Sick. Go world. You deserve it. Sometimes. This is going to be a good one. Before we get to our actual presentations of the night, this is also a good time to call out our code of conduct, which is in place at any and all of our events. So head on over to dirtyrectangles.com, click the code of conduct button, give it a good little read through. There's some good stuff in there, as well as some ways that you can get a hold of us if anything comes up, or you just want to reach out and say hi. You know, there's a form there through our website, or you could ping any of us at Dirty Rectangles through Twitter, at Dirty Rectangles, or at rectangles_TO for the Toronto crew. Look at James here, our internet bot. It's getting smarter with every episode. You better watch out.
I got blast processing now.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he's gonna take over pretty soon.
It's a callback right there. Okay. Anything else? What are we missing? We're gonna have some fun tonight. We have a presenter. We've never had a presenter in December before. Our first ever December presenter, which is really fun to say, actually. And then we're gonna give some games to each other. Yeah.
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 Hell yeah.
It's always been led to believe.
What? Perfect. Well, let's take a hot second, get Forrest in here, and we'll get going. Don't go anywhere. right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with our first and only presenter of this fine December show and tell, Forrest Anderson. What's going on, Forrest?
Hey, thank you so much for having me, and I'm really appreciative that I'm the first December presenter, so it's really cool. And also, it's all good that you call me Ferris, because the game that I'm going to be showing off today is written in Rust, and Rust's mascot is Ferris, and so I'm very okay being called Ferris. And so, yeah, you hit the nail on the head. And so today, I'll be showing off a game called Valoran. It's an open source game. It's a voxel game, so it's sort of similar to like Minecraft. It's inspired by Cube World. It has elements of like Dwarf Fortress in it. And I showed it off a few years ago at Dirty Rectangles, Ottawa. And it was pretty cool showing it off to like the local community, because although I work on this, like myself, I put some stuff into it. There's lots of people around the world who also contribute to this. And so I will take like a quick walkthrough today of how sort of like the game is doing at this point, and kind of just like explore the world a little bit. I'll talk a little bit about I guess like where we've like sort of come over the last 2 years, what type of stuff we've been investing a lot of our time into, and then if there's any questions in Twitch chat as well, I can give any updates. I see we have Callie Katz, who's one of the moderators for Valoran in Twitch chat, so it's very cool. Looks like my frame rate's doing pretty okay, so I'll get started. So, as I mentioned, it's a voxel game. Looks sort of like Minecraft. I can walk around this sort of procedurally generated world, and I can see like there's like a village over there. There's some mountains off in the distance. If I take a look at the map, we can see like we have like a village here. It shows all the mountains and everything like that. But one of the interesting things that has sort of changed a lot since last time is that we have like this really like sort of vivid sort of landscape that we've built. And so like those mountains off in the distance that you see over there, you are actually able to travel to it, and as you get closer it will spawn in that mountain, which is something that we haven't seen in other voxel games. And so this is like something that is definitely pretty cool for us. Now I'm going to actually the sky will look nice at night, but if it turns to night, I'll cheat and turn to day. So it's a multiplayer game. We actually have 23 people online right now, and normally throughout the day, like the highest like just non-release party type of numbers we've gotten on the server is like around 80 or 90. So that was pretty crazy to have like that many players concurrently on there. So as we can see, it's like we got like lots of blocks, we got trees. This is sort of like what you expect from Minecraft, but the really big distinguishing factor in Valoran is that it's a lot more adventure based. And so you go from town to town, you can fight in dungeons, you can trade things between towns, and we're working on building a pretty integrated quest line and like storyline into how like the world interacts with itself. I'm going to cheat a little bit here just because I am an admin on the multiplayer server. I'm going to go over to one of these mountains over here, because one thing I do want to show off that I didn't remember to show off at the first Dirty Rectangles right away until someone mentioned it, was that we have gliding, which is something that like a lot of people really tend to enjoy quite a lot. I apologize for the frame rate right there. And so since the last version of Valoran that I showed off however many years ago, we had someone come in and overhaul the entire physics system. And so all of our physics is like super realistic to like, so like when I jump, like you'll notice that like it looks like I'm on the moon a little bit, but it's because the physics that everything is attached to is super realistic. And so if we made your jump look more like a Mario jump or something like that, then it would have a large effect on, for example, like maybe like we'd have to change your mass for that to work or something. And then now that your mass has changed, when you hit something with your hammer, you're going to send it flying off into the distance instead of not as far. And so there's a lot that I've tied together. But anyways, I've said a lot about gliding. I'm thinking I want to do I'm going to turn it to dawn. So anybody who's playing on the server right now is going to question what's going on. Is this bright enough? Yeah, I think this is probably fine. All right, so it's dawn right now, and we'll do like a little glide down the mountain. So a little bit more context about what's going on with this project, like being an open source project and everything like that. It started back in 2018 as a project that people sort of just wanted in sort of lieu of another game that had existed for quite a long time, which was Cube World. And the thing with Cube World is that although it had like a version that was out, the development speed was really slow, and there was a lot of things that like were to be desired out of the game. And so very simplistic like voxel graphics, but with that you can make a lot happen sort of. And so people really liked Cube World because you could go questing with your friends. You have like these like cute avatars that you're playing as, the world's colors are very vibrant. And so we took a lot of these ideas of what we really enjoyed from Cube World when we wanted to go and make our own open source version, and then started at the ground level. We can see some fireflies as I go by here. We started at the ground level and reassessed, like, okay, well, if we want to build this like really big game, then we'll have to have like a really strong base for multiplayer, a really strong base for world generation, and like we have a lot of like erosion systems and economy simulation, and there's a lot of stuff going on. And the reason that we're able to do a lot of this so easily as a large and open source team is because we've been using the Rust language since the project was started. And so you can do a lot of things in other languages and like get similar results, but the biggest benefit to us of using Rust is the fact that the compiler is very, very strict about what you're asking it to do. And so when we go about compiling and like merging our code with one another, Rust has like a very strong saying that if it compiles, it probably works. And that means that if your tests pass, if your code compiles, then you can be pretty confident that it's gonna interact with everybody else's code pretty nicely. And so I quite like Rust, and I give like a lot of talks about it. I'm part of like the Rust game dev working group, and so I know a lot of other people who are using it for similar types of things. And so I'm like very integrated in that ecosystem. But I think as well, there's a lot of like we sort of stand out as a flagship of like the fact that you can take this systems level language that's like pretty immature, pretty like it came out in 2015, and we can actually create like an end product like this. Here's something over here. Here's a moose. Very convenient that I came across the moose as a Canadian. Nice. And so we were sort of like one of the flagship games for Rust. There's a lot of engines that are being built in Rust, and so you have like the Amethyst engine, Bevy, RG3D, Tetra, lots of different engines. But we built ours from scratch. And so, well, not really. We built an engine for a voxel game from scratch because we needed like very specific things. So I'm going to take a look here. Canadian moose, very cool. Yes, you can go check it. Oh yeah, so as I mentioned, this is open source. I'm on the night. If you see at the top of the screen, it says 2021 December 7th, and so this is actually the build from last night. And so you can go see development as it's happening, and you can go play the game. You can come talk to the developers. It really encompasses the idea of like the community that wants to play the game is also the community that builds it. And you hear this from like game dev companies a lot, but they still have to keep stuff secret a lot of the time. And it's really difficult to have like this, like the community and the developers are one and the same outside of open source, I think. And so we've definitely got a lot of things that are sort of going for us, like that make it a lot easier to try and accomplish this type of project. And like one of the biggest examples of this here, I'll zoom out a little bit so we can see some of the mountains here. We can see like we have mountains that look very similar to like real life mountains. If you think of like Minecraft, like they have like the height of like 256 that it can go. So you can't have like the largest mountains. You can have some cliffs. You can have like there's like the new update and stuff. I haven't checked out all of that, but we do an entire erosion simulation to get everything looking like this. And so it does like tectonic uplift. It does thermal erosion. We had like a blog post with all these like special terms. Like one person went and read like all these research papers about how all this stuff works. But then the result of it is that we get mountains that look like this. And if you see on the right, we have like a river that's sort of going down. Let's see if I can just, so like right over here, we have a river. And then if we take a look at that river, we can see it keeps going down that mountain. And if I think, one sec, if I go north, okay, if we take a look on the map here, wait, where am I? Okay, so I'm right here. So we see this river right here, and it will go all the way until it meets some basin. And so some lake or some ocean. And this is something that unless you do this type of simulation, other types of procedural noise can't simulate this. And so we get like a ton of benefits from like the world gen systems that we have because people were able to put so much time into it as a side project rather than a company having to invest a ton of money into developing this. So we'll take another ride down here.
I see that you have almost sort of like a draw distance sort of thing going on where the voxelization of stuff is sort of being done on the fly as you kind of get close to stuff. Like you can see some stuff popping up there now.
Yes.
What's the details of that? Because we are still seeing a visual for the mountain ranges in the distance, but I assume that they're just sort of done with meshes and then you sort of like voxelize everything as you get close to it, or what's going on there?
And so this is a great question because this is something I take for granted now that I've worked on the product for so long. I might die here. Oh, no, we're good. Okay, so what's happening is that we do still have chunks like Minecraft and other voxel types of games that you have like procedurally loading stuff in. And so if we take a look here, we can see that there's a boundary right here of everything that I'm able to see. If I'm in single player, I can turn it up more, but because I'm playing on the multiplayer server, it only is able to render so much. But then beyond that point, what's happening is that there's a mesh that was created by the server that it sends out to all of the clients that I'm able to look at. And so that's why I'm able to see mountains off in the distance without having to like render millions of cubes and probably billions even. No, I don't know like the magnitude, but mountains off in the distance are just level of detail meshes. But we can also see a little bit, I don't know if it will come through super clearly, but as I move the camera a little bit, there is some aliasing that happens on the mountains off in the distance. And the reason for this is that it gives a little bit more of an effect that there is still cubes over there, even if it is just a very flat thing. And then a little bit extending on this further, so the reason that you can't necessarily do this in Minecraft, like have this like level of detail ahead of time, I guess like the server could just render like a massive amount of chunks, but we have a finite sized world. And so this is similar to the reasons that Dwarf Fortress does it, is because when we do a lot of the erosion, when we do a lot of the economic simulation and like transactions between cities, history happening over time, we have to have a finite world to be able to calculate this inside. Because if there was a city beyond the border, I guess like we could simulate there's another island off in the distance and it's generating this much resources or something. But essentially this island right here is all that I'm able to explore in this world. If I go out to the ocean, it's just ocean forever. So yeah, that's definitely a great question though, because unless like that boundary is like really pointed out to you, then it's much more difficult to see. Oh yeah, check out the Snowy Mountains. Callie, in chat, if you wanted to describe that a little bit more. So basically, we had a meeting recently in which we were like, okay, it'd be really cool to do some holiday stuff, to have like a feature flag for the game so that the server could generate, okay, maybe like a snowy one over here. But it can generate like more Christmassy feeling stuff. And like our goal is that like if we can get like a feature flag that we can compile the server with to say like turn on the Christmas mode or whatever, then you'll have something that we can extend to any holiday. And so although a lot of our developers are North American and European, we do have some developers in Asia, like in the Asian time zones, but it would be really great if people can come in and bring their holidays and add them to the game. And I really like that idea a ton. And so actually, yeah, because this is the Christmas dirty rectangle, so I should be spending all of the time in the winter biome over here. But essentially, there's a lot of work going in right now to making like the trees look a lot more Christmassy and stuff. And so I'm definitely excited. We're gonna have like a release party, not a release party. We're just gonna have like a play party on December 25th. The last release party we had 181 people come out and play on the server at the same time. And so we're hoping that we can get some numbers similar to that.
So what's the core sort of gameplay loop for players? Like, is there one, or is it more just sort of, you know, do whatever you want kind of thing? Like, what are at least sort of like the main, you know, verbs and stuff like that you're letting people do, I guess?
Yeah, absolutely. And so so my position on the project, I work as like the meta lead. And so I do a lot of stuff with Git and continuous integration and hosting servers and doing outreach and this kind of stuff. And so it's always interesting when I come play the game because like there's a lot that I don't know about what's going on. However, I also do write the blog. And so I do get a little bit of an idea about the stuff that's being added here and there. And so I think from a player's perspective who comes in and starts with the game, we don't really have a tutorial. You start in your starting village. You can go kill stuff. You can go buy and trade. But as it stands right now, the main cores of the game, or the main loops rather. So short-term loop, if you're out like exploring a dungeon, you're working your way through the dungeon. And actually, let me see if I can find somewhere so we can go explore that a little bit. Wait, I need to turn on dungeons. Okay, so closest one to me. So for a lot of players, it will be team up with your friends, group up with your friends, go through these dungeons and fight stuff that's there. Then when you level up, there is a progression system. And so I think that the way that it's currently set up right now is you get a certain amount of experience, and this allows you to level up certain weapon abilities, but it doesn't necessarily, like you don't have to be the wizard to use the, oh, we got some cultists over here spraying fire at me. So you don't have to be the wizard to use the wands and stuff like that. See if I can find the dungeon here. Okay, here we go. And so that's a pretty good short-term loop, just like walking through a dungeon with your friends. When it comes to medium term, we do have that like the progression system. You can get better items. And there's a lot of people working on the design behind this, but for the longer loop, like the reason that you want to play the game for a longer period of time or come back to it, I think we really are lacking a lot on that. So we have a lot of story that's written for a lot of the different races and characters, but we really don't have any cohesive way to like get a quest from a city and go and kill people because maybe like there's an encampment off in the north or something, and they're stopping our ability to like mine and stuff like that. And so it's not as well tied together in that sense right now. And so for a long time, we definitely felt like we were a tech demo. We had like the graphics, we had the procedural generation, we had the ability to go and fight stuff, and we had like multiplayer, but we didn't have like all the core loops figured out. And so I think right now we do have a lot of players who come by, and like the fact that we have like any players online. It used to be we had like 2 players online when we'd be like, wow, people are actually playing the game. But the fact that we have more suggests to me that I might be missing out a little bit on what types of stuff people can do at this point, sort of like to come back and keep playing the game. I'll see if I can get a little bit lower into the dungeon.
The icons you had on the map for the dungeons remind me of the Zelda 2 palaces.
I think that a lot of stuff that we do, like all the artists custom all the audio, and so there's definitely inspiration from a lot of other places. And I am curious, like, yeah, it could be that it's inspired by that type of logo. And I think as well, like we list our inspirations as like Breath of the Wild, Dwarf Fortress, Cube World. And so like the reason behind this is that we've all played these games, we really like them, and as an open source game, we can take a lot of aspects that we like and explore them a lot more. And so I think definitely like we're inspired by quite a few things.
I'm looking at the GitHub right now.
Yeah.
It looks like you have over 10,000 commits and over 200 contributors on this project. So that's pretty large. What's it like sort of managing this size of project and contributions from all these different people? And how does that come into like a cohesive thing? Is it more like a top-down design document thing, or is it like somebody's like, I want to add this, and then you decide whether you want to merge it in or not?
Yeah, so these are a lot of really great questions that we've been asked a lot, because when you have this sort of open structure where anybody is able to come and contribute and do what they like, and it's an open source game, then the question really does become like, what is the organizational structure that allows you to make decisions and have like some stakeholder make a certain decision? And so I think we don't have like a super strong answer. We do stuff like we have weekly meetings on Sundays. Whenever people are working on something that they want to see in the game, they can go and talk in our Discord channels with the developers to sort of flesh out their idea. And then when it comes to code review and testing stuff, there's definitely a lot of communication that helps with it. Since this isn't people's like 9 to 5, it happens like it's pretty conveniently asynchronous to like the extent that anybody can really ask questions at any time, and someone will be there to answer. And so like the result of this is that we can have something that's pretty cohesive. There's definitely a lot of areas where not everything works perfectly, and that someone who comes in who might like I think a lot of the core developers share a pretty similar idea of what this is, but then someone who comes in might have a different view of it. But then the other side of it is that we do have a lot of foundations to sort of build off of, and so we have we have like the inspiration of Cube World. We have the inspiration of what games that other people have played. We have artists who come in and just want to make like these cool warlords and aren't necessarily considering too much maybe like a lot of the design beside it, and then maybe someone else can come in and like work on like come up with some ideas of what this character's abilities could be. And so that's like the side of trying to have some type of consensus. We don't really have someone up top that makes a lot of really strong decisions that must be one way. I'm just gonna go back home here. So that's on the side of like just like working together in open source as general. But then when it comes to contributions and when it comes to having so many people working on the project, like so the number that we have there, like 200 people, is one sec, let me just head over to this cave first. So with the 200 people, this is a lot of people who will maybe like there's a potential for people to have multiple accounts on GitHub, so it might track that a couple times, but then on the other hand, it doesn't track artists and composers and writers and people who just come to the Discord and add some input. It doesn't track them as much. And so there's definitely a lot of a lot of people who've worked on the product, and I want to try and like make like this credits list of everything that's gone into it, everybody who's put something into it. But there's a decent amount of work that goes down into tracking people. So I would say like our heartbeat is more like every week we tend to see like between 5 and 15 people have added some type of code change to the game. And we have lots of activity going on in lots of different channels about like maybe talking about features that are being implemented or getting people to work on certain assets or audio or anything like that. And then when it comes to actually merging code on, so we primarily use GitLab, and then we have like a mirror that goes to GitHub. So we have on GitLab, I think we average around like 30 pull requests or merge requests on GitHub at once. Oh, hello, I found, okay, there's actually another player. So this is content, I could just follow them. Very cool. And so we average around like 30 merge requests and then around like 200 or 300 issues that are like unresolved. And so every week we work on, in the meeting, trying to go through some of these merge requests and seeing like if they can be merged or if we have to do some more work on them. And then also with the issues, we go through and try to see if we can close them or hand them off to someone. But then the other really big benefit that we get is the fact that with Rust, we do get that guarantee of like a lot of things work very easily without so one of the guarantees of Rust is that you cannot have undefined behavior at runtime. So when the game is running, we can't run it like if you're familiar with C++, we can't run into seg faults, we can't have null pointer issues. We can't have data races when we're doing threading. And so there's a lot of guarantees that we get, which make it harder for developers to start learning. But then in the long run, much easier for us as a large project to get a lot of stuff done very, very efficiently. And so, yeah, it's an interesting dynamic that we have on this project in comparison to a lot of others, where we're trying to build a game which isn't necessarily like software where you have like very like empirical, this is the way that something must happen, types of ways of dealing with stuff. Everything's much more open-ended, and there's like a lot of discussion to be had around, or discussion over someone like some benevolent dictator saying what needs to be the way to do things.
Right. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. So I'm exploring a cave system here. We have someone actually there's some really interesting new stuff that's going to be added in the near future. I think that is like a big cave room that's open, and then there's like mushrooms everywhere or something like that. So I'm pretty excited for that. But we have like lots of we added like some lighting stuff that allows oh cool, it's they followed me here. Very cool. We like, so yeah, you have like bloom, we have I don't remember if there's like forward rendering, deferred rendering, I don't know all the terms, but basically we have the ability to have lots of lights now, so whichever one is that.
That would be deferred, I think.
Yeah, I'm sure someone here would know, and so I kind of put it out there. Yeah, so I assume we have deferred rendering now.
So you presented this game before, right? In the Ottawa Dirty Rectangles. Was that in the live one, or I assume so?
Yeah. So that was in the live one, and that was pretty cool because I had someone sit down and play the game, and so that was really cool because I could talk more about like the stuff going on with the project. But then the funny thing is I forgot to tell them that like how to pull out the lantern, how to glide, how to climb. And so when like I'm like, oh, you just pull out the glider and try giving the glider, everybody's like, ooh, that's pretty cool. And so I like that sort of dynamic quite a lot.
How long ago was that?
That's a good question. So I don't remember when. It must have been like sometime in 2019. Okay, so project history. Valoran started in mid 2018 as a like some people getting together, and then we did an engine rewrite at the beginning of 2019, and that's when I joined. And then that must have been like I must have done it like, let's say, August to October of 2019 sometime.
So I'm just sort of wondering what sort of like the major developments since then have been on it, like just in terms of like stuff added to the game, or like how you've changed running the project or anything like that.
Yeah, and so I think some of the biggest things. So we have like the level of detail, the new physics system, the economy simulation is also quite new. There was an overhaul in how cities are generated. So we use what we call like the Site 2 system. And this allows us to, I don't know the scientific term for it, but it's like if you take a circle and then you're like, okay, I'll put this circle beside this other circle, except this second circle is subtractive, and then I'll put a square on top of it. And then you make it like sort of geometry out of that. And so it's some technique, and that allows us to create like really interesting cities and stuff, but then we also have a spots system which allows us to spawn like dungeons around the world or roads that connect things. And then project wise, so that's just like a smallish changelog. If you go to like Airshipper, which is like our launcher, you can see like a larger changelog of all of the the different versions that we have. We release at like about a 3-month cadence. So we're at 0.11 right now. We're probably gonna do 0.12 in like January or something. And then product structure wise, we used to do like once a month meetings or like once a release meeting, but now with like the once a week meeting, it makes it a lot easier to not have such like large overhead on these meetings. Like we kind of just show up. If not everything is in place, then that's fine. And we have open collective, so people can donate to the project. We make about $200 a month, and about 125 of those go to server costs. We like keep all our finances public, and so anybody can go check out like how like the spending on servers goes and stuff like that. And then trying to think of other large project sort of changes since then. Since this has been like a global project, like people around the world are working on it. COVID didn't really affect us too heavily. It has allowed us to probably get more people coming in if they have like extra time on the weekends or anything to work on it. And I guess like other stats wise, we probably picked up a lot of steam in terms of a lot more contributors, and so a lot of our core developers are people who have been around the product for quite a long time, but we have had core developers who have joined the product since like 2020, and so definitely like a lot of changes in sort of the like leadership of the project. So I think I think like if you were to look at 2019 Valoran, what you wouldn't see anything off in the distance. You wouldn't see those mountains. You wouldn't see world generation with rivers. You wouldn't see waterfalls. I'm trying to think of what else. Combat was definitely more restricted. There's just a few weapons. Now there's like a ton of different ones. And Sky. Oh, Sky's a big one. Okay, here. So I'm sorry for anybody who's playing on the server right now, but let's take a look at the Sky here. So if I go time dawn. So okay, actually, oh no, I missed it. Okay, well, it is what it is. So we have like the aurora comes up every few nights now. So at dawn right now we have like a different sky than we had last night, and then if I go again, okay, not aurora. I guess I should just be going till midnight. But so last morning it was red. Now it's much more orange. So here let's go time midnight. Maybe there's an aurora. Okay, not tonight. But definitely like there's been a lot of work that was put into like the systems that allow us to have like really nice sky. Actually, dynamic weather's coming in pretty soon too, so we're gonna have like rain and stuff like that, which will be pretty nifty. But yeah, I think that's about like that's probably like the best overview I can give of where we've come in like the last 2 years. It would be cool to like do like a year recap. This is what we accomplished in like 2021 or something.
So cool.
Yeah, I think so. I just gave a talk at another a Rust conference that was like talking about art and stuff like that, and it really amazes me like when I hear like what people's questions are in certain ways, just because it's something that like since I've been working on the product for so long, like I take a lot of stuff for granted, whereas a lot of people who will see it for the first time will be like really impressed by certain things. And as I say that, I want to go find a giant tree because I think this is one of the things that will be pretty impressive. So there's one up there. That one's actually underwater, so I'm not going to go to that one. I was demoing the project last time and like that. Yeah. So I don't have the server chat on right now just because I don't trust what people will say. But I'm sure that they're asking why day and night is changing so fast.
Very layered defense we're doing here against any Twitch strikes.
Exactly.
Those clouds are really nice.
Yeah, the clouds are because like as I'm moving through them, you see like that they're changing and stuff. And like so if I like pull the camera back, we'll also see that they do like some really funky stuff here. But like the shaders that they use are I don't remember all the specifics, but they're very cool. All right, let's keep flying. Okay, so I know we've gone for quite a long time, and I'm good to keep talking until you stop me. But I also just want to make sure that I give you the opportunity to ask me to stop if you like. Or how are we doing?
Let's see what this tree looks like, and then.
All right, let's check out the giant
I'm
tree.
excited about the giant tree.
Perfect. Yeah, so I think the giant trees historically have been pretty cool to check out. Also, it's be very cool because we're gonna get to it, except it won't have rendered in yet, and so it will just very quickly appear in front of us. I think it must be at like the top of one of these mountains over here. So even like flying, like the map is quite large. Like if I was walking from city to city, it would take like quite a lot of time to traverse, and so we don't really feel like we really handicap the players in preventing them to have an infinite world. Oh wait, we're almost here. Okay, so I'm gonna go down to the base. Okay, we're like at it. I'm on it actually. Okay, here we go. So from the ground, take a look. So I bounced. So we have like these giant trees that spawn in, and I think it was someone who was working on like generating some trees more procedurally. Worked on just like, okay, well, if we can do small trees, then why not do like a massive tree with like different like crazy branches and like how they go together and everything like that. And so from I guess like enemies spawn on it and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But let's see, I can do like a quick flyby. All right, and so I'll get someone firing some stuff at me here. Yeah, so these are like one of the more peculiar world gen things that have been added. I think that make it feel like much more fantastical in a lot of ways. And so I think I definitely hope that we see. Oh, we got some particles over here of leaves. Nice. I hope we see more things like this in the future as people come up with like more ways to play with a lot of the different systems. Because so coming up with a tree like this isn't like a lot of our game is generated through procedural means, and so when you just put a lot of shapes together, and then you can get something like this, and then we can say with the spot system, spawn a giant tree like this frequently around the world or something like that, and it needs to be in this type of biome, and it needs to have like this type of level terrain and that kind of stuff. And so a lot that's like one of the other really big benefits of open source is that we have people come in who just have crazy ideas that are like, it'd be awesome if you could implement that, and then just like yeah sure, we'll do it. And then that's how we have like our physics system, our erosion system, economy simulation, airships. Actually, okay, airships I haven't come across any, but they go from like village to village and they fly and they're very cool, but I don't know how to spawn them in, unfortunately, and so I can't it would take me a while to find one.
Somebody in chat is asking if you can go inside the tree.
That's a good question. Let's see. I assume that it's not hollow, but we shall take a look. We'll explore. There's like a teleportation command that I can do somehow, and also like there's other ways that I could like glitch into stuff, I guess. But so there's no entry right now, but that's not saying that there can't be. Like if someone wanted to make it so like let's say for example some race was like the elves or something, like when they had a giant tree, they might have like a village near it, and then they'd build some stuff into like the giant tree and like a stairway that goes up or something like that. So right now it doesn't, but maybe you could be the one to make the inside of the tree hollow. Oh yeah, okay, wait. So Cali Cats has overridden my ability to turn off people typing in chat because they're also a mod, and so Cali Cats is a pretty butterfly. And also, actually, okay, so I do know Cali Cats has done a contribution, which was adding a glider that looked a lot cooler than this glider. I think so. This one's like a leaf glider, pretty nice. But I think there was like a butterfly glider that Cali Cats implemented, which was pretty cool.
For 2022, I want to see some giant mushrooms.
Well,
so we can go.
You won't even have to wait that long. They're gonna come out like next, like actually I guess it's December already, but someone has already been working on that, and so no worries. that's in the pipeline.
They're coming.
Yes. All right, and so I think not sure if I have any other questions from the chat. I do want to say, like, if you want to play the game, it's easy to download, give it a try. If you want to try contributing something, if you're an artist, a composer, music's been playing around in the background the entire time, but I disabled it for myself just because I'm using like Linux and it gets a little bit funky sometimes. But if you wanna work on any part of the game, then come join our Discord, and you can ask around, see what you can work on. If you're wanting to get into Rust, if you're wanting to get into just like some of like the design, set some things straight, maybe. Yeah, like come and chat with us because we're super open to having new people come work on the game.
This is awesome for us. Thanks so much for showing this.
Yeah, absolutely. I love. I really appreciate the opportunity to show it off, and I think I'm always happy to talk about it. I do like a lot of tech talks on it as well. So maybe if you go take a look on YouTube, we actually started doing this thing recently, a Valorant reading club, where we have people who are like the core developers of the project come in and talk about systems that they've worked on and kind of help us through it. And so yeah, take a look at it. Like if you want to find out some more about it, you can check us out on YouTube, check us out on Discord. And yeah, thank you so much for having me, Dirty Rectangles.
Cool. Hell yeah, anytime.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, let's get some Doritos in the chat for Forrest, and we will be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
Oh
Doing
man,
it. We're live now. We're live on the internet. Hi, everybody. We're back.
What's up,
Hello.
folks?
hello.
We're here to play video games in a very loosely put together segment we call Dirty Santa, I guess.
Dirty Santa.
Dirty Santa.
Hey, okay.
Woo!
We got some video games for each other. We picked some names out of an NSYNC shaped hat, and we have some games for each other. Liam, Merry Christmas, Liam.
I got the first game.
Oh my goodness, we're gonna give Liam a second here to get things set up.
I should have gotten that. I
Well,
should have
well,
started to get set up, but I
while
didn't.
he gets it set up, his Santa should.
Yes, I drew Liam as my Dirty Santa recipient.
Oh.
And so the way we did this was everybody sort of entered in sort of like a vague gamer profile. Although we didn't use the maybe Eric knows or any other game design professors in chat that like 4-quadrant graph. Yes, there's even a dreaded 4-quadrant graph for what kind of gamer you are, folks. In case you weren't familiar with that, there is killers, achievers, explorers, and communicators, I would say is the other one. I can't remember what the other one is.
Socializers, yeah.
Socializers are.
It's Bartle's taxonomy.
Anyway, I don't even know why I'm describing this, other than it's just funny because we didn't use
We're
that
stretching
at all.
right now. It's perfect.
So this is like the
Instead-
political compass, but for games.
I can't even remember exactly what we did. It's like, what are your favorite genres, and what I can't remember.
Top three, well, not top three, but three genres that you like, and 3 verbs was basically what it was. Like, I like games that have X, Y, and or Z in them. So genres and verbs.
Yeah, but people were free to completely disregard that if they wanted to.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
saved.
so it was
I
like
saved. Let me
the
bring it up.
metric under which we were giving each other gifts, but also whatever. So I'm downloading my game now, and
Yeah.
I will share my screen in a minute as soon as I'm ready. It'll be just a few more seconds.
So here's my Liam one I
Part of
got.
the
As
fun.
you can see, we've got NSYNC in the background there. Although I actually used a Jamiroquai hat to pick mine personally. And we have favorite genres: platformers, action RPGs, and Tony Hawk. I love games that have bartering, building, and/or Tony Hawk. I don't know if this game has bartering or building in it, but it definitely has a Tony Hawk influence. I think you will see.
Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
I see it now.
Exciting.
As soon as I have this all set up, which will be just a moment, I will share the gift that you got me.
No worries.
All right. In fact, I could probably go ahead and share my
Did
screen.
you search for Tony Hawk on itch?
How did you find this? That's always a good story. How did you find this game?
Jonah, don't blow up my spot here.
I mean,
I have a lot of Dirty Santas to plan in future. I don't want people to be catching on to what I do. Yeah, I just searched around on itch. I'm pretty sure everybody's familiar with itch by this
oh
point.
no, yeah, of course.
It's
but
All right, I'm now streaming. Can you
Oh,
see my
boy.
stuff?
All right, let's get into presenter mode here. Click
itch
on
is,
this.
of course, the
Break my
responsible
view.
son to Steam's prodigal son. Wait a minute, this doesn't look right, Derek.
Oh, what?
There we go.
How many
There we
people
go.
are presenting? Here we go.
We got 7.
Is this what I should be looking at?
Yeah, there we go.
There you go.
You see what you need to see? Cool.
Yep.
Super
So it looks
Streetscape.
like James got me a game called Super Street Skate. As I did say, my gamer profile, I'm a big fan of Tony Hawk. I like to think that I'm pretty good at them. If there's anything in this life that I'm good at, it's smashing combos on my special meter in Tony Hawk, doing several 900s in one combo. So I've downloaded this game. I'm going to run it. Hopefully it runs in windowed mode or whatever.
Look, there's Tony Hawk right there. And I think that's, like Lizzie Armanto or something next to him? I don't know that many famous skateboarders, to be honest. Vanessa Torres, I think, is a famous skateboarder. Who are famous skateboarders?
So I plugged in my
Spider-Man?
controller. Spider-Man's my favorite
Darth
skater
Maul?
that security guard.
Security guard. The eye from Neversoft, from the Neversoft logo.
I like to think that security guard is Johnny Knoxville or something, dressed up as a security guard.
Okay, so I'm starting a new game. I don't know what I'm expecting here at
Hey,
all.
wait, are
but
you
I'm
streaming?
really-
All I see is the web
I'm s-
page. All I see is the web page right now.
Oh,
Yes,
do you? Okay, 1 second. Let me see if I can fix that.
Professional
It's all
show.
good.
I was trying to remember other 1080 snowboarding characters, and I'm like, Kensuke Kimachi. That's
Oh,
another
okay.
one.
Look at you.
You should see my game now.
Yep.
Bart
Oh,
Simpson.
Yeah.
look at this. Radiation monster.
All right, I do not know what's happening in this game, but I'm really excited.
It's a lot more lore heavy than I think we were prepared for.
I think that's just what I needed out of a skateboarding game, to be honest. I
Extra
did
large
say I like
RPG.
RPGs. I want narrative in my skateboarding game, and I'm not talking about Tony Hawk's Underground, which is excellent narrative, but a little passé at this point.
What I'm gathering from this, if you read the headline of the news newspaper,
Mayor visits power
I
plant.
believe that is the mayor that is being
Oh, I
grabbed
see.
by a mutant tentacle.
I've been on this loading screen a long time.
I think you can. I think it wants you to pow through it.
Yeah, do you have to? Do you
I'm
have to progress it?
Oh, the pow's not moving
I'm not
anymore.
sure.
Pow
Well,
Yeah,
stop.
how's not
stop.
even
Maybe
moving.
now it's
Move it.
loading.
Good old Andy Anderson.
Good old
Let's
itch
find
games.
out. You don't get my sound either, do you?
Yeah, we're getting sound.
Oh yeah, great.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're
The
just
pow's moving again.
oh, you're just joining us. We got each other video games off of itch. They had to be free and weird. It's basically the criteria.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on here.
Well,
It's interesting.
it wants to make sure that you really read the backstory.
Uh-huh. So you see,
Yeah.
the monster is radioactive. Came out of an
It's
XXL
important to
barrel.
understand the lore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna
Or
restart
put things into perspective later.
I'm gonna restart the game real quick because I don't know. I think I might have messed it up with my inputs because I have both my controller and my keyboard and mouse. It's accepting both. I'm gonna alt F4 out of this real quick. I might stop streaming. Let me try once more.
So this is Christmas. Does anybody know any good Christmas carols?
Yeah. But
Yeah.
that's where I'm ending that sentence.
The one that name drops Satan.
Yeah.
That one's pretty good.
Oh. Is that a one? Is that a thing?
Yeah.
A real thing?
Yeah. There's a Christmas Carol. The name drops Satan.
Sounds awesome. Okay, now it looks like you're cooking. Run a main menu screen.
Oh, here we go.
This looks great.
Right.
Oh, this is probably what you did last time. I see.
Let's check out this character creator. Oh.
Yeah, if this bails, next time we'll see what else we can do in the menus.
Yeah, worst case scenario, we'll make it an excellent character.
Uh-huh.
Again, exactly what I wanted of a skateboarding game. I want some RPG elements. I want to be able to create my character.
Having a character creator is pretty important for a skateboarding game.
Yeah,
That
trying to download it on my side to see if I can figure it out, but it's taking a while to download.
Christmas Carol is God Rest You Merry Gentlemen.
Say what? That's one of the lines?
Yeah.
That's the one that mentions Satan?
Yeah.
Oh, I had no idea.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Have you tried pressing
Satan.
every button on your controller and keyboard?
It's interesting. I pressed the button and I heard audio come up. Also, when I press the start button, my cursor comes up, and that's when the POW button stops. And then when I press if I press like Y or B, it goes again.
What about enter, space, escape?
Weird.
I made the foolish assumption that because people were commenting on this, that it would be straightforward to play.
Hey,
I mashed all my keys and it closed. I'm gonna give it one more shot.
Okay, see if that.
Let's look at the character creator this time, so we can at least get some action going on here.
All right.
Yeah, it's all good.
Merry Christmas, Liam.
Frankly,
Right,
this isn't that different from the
Oh, this is cool. Okay.
random $3.
All right. What hat do I want? I want
all sorts of fun
these are
options
fun.
here.
Skateboard and roller skates?
Roller skates? What? I like both, but I'm gonna go with skateboard.
I like that the default skateboard idle stance has it so that your default gun is just kind of clipping through your leg. It's always a good touch.
That's perfect. Okay, hat. Good. I'm going for. I gotta go for robot. Was there two robots? No, there's two in the box. Okay.
Yeah, one robot, one box.
Hair makes no difference. Face. I'm still just a robot. Arms.
Oh, perfect.
Hulk fists or no?
Hulk fists.
Obviously, yes. Tarps off for this, boys. Legs.
Oh,
that's well, let's keep it PG. Oh, excuse me.
That's
hold
okay.
on.
The pants match the gloves. There you go.
If I can get matching gloves to the. Oh, okay. We can do full Hulk robot, but I think I gotta say tarps off.
Whoa.
I could do the robot.
This is a good character creator. There's at least two people in the comments on itch who seem to also not be able to get past the comic book panel.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Did they mention the character creator?
Well, we
extras?
saw the character creator. Let's check out the options. I already turned the audio down. It should still be down. Graphics.
Yes.
Yeah, we want some graphics.
Graphics,
That's
very
funny
yes.
because I set it
There's some
to.
good options in here.
It could be the resolution or options B or C. Texture quality. Yeah, we want some res. Want some
Should-
VSync.
Should probably
Limit-
cap.
no.
You should cap that frame rate.
Unlimited frame rate.
Yeah,
Cap
try
the frame
capping.
rate.
Seems a little
Maybe that'll
ballsy.
Solve
Game.
everything.
Yeah. Gameplay. Subtitles. No hints for me. I got this figured out. All right.
I'm trying it out on my side, and by going to one of the other random options and then accidentally hitting start game, I've got the same thing where I'm trapped on the comic panels, but I can kind of see the game behind them.
Okay,
and I'm
so
moving around in it.
that's what I thought might be happening. Is because I kept like going in and out of the game.
It's just not disappearing.
So like when
I
POW,
just don't know how to dismiss.
yeah. So when POW wasn't going away, but I was like able to pause it somehow. I was like, oh, I'm pausing the animator somehow, and I'm pretty sure that's exactly what I'm doing. Because I have it paused right now, and if I hit something else, if I hit the cancel button, then it goes back into going. So I think it's something messed around with the. Oh, and I heard I hear spatial sound coming through the game. So I think it's just that the screen is not going away. So
I forgot to turn the canvas alpha to 0, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I wonder if there's some other mode
Grind.
that you can at least play, though.
let me.
That's what I'm looking at now.
Yeah, I wonder. What if I minimize it and bring it back up? Nothing. I'm afraid. I'm
Oh,
afraid.
wow.
Oh, because I hear input on like when I'm clicking around. I don't think this is gonna work out.
All good.
That's okay, because I have a game to gift to someone else,
Oh
and that someone else is going to receive that gift in just a moment. So I'm stopping my stream now,
my
and
goodness. We're
I'm
doing
gonna go
it.
into my chats,
Secret Santing. We're doing it.
and I'm going to send a certain someone a certain video game on Discord, and they should have gotten it. And
Oh,
that
dang.
someone
Could it be?
is
What could it be?
Jonah.
Woo!
The Jonah.
Okay. Let me rig up my stream while I get this installing. This looks a lot. Here, let me start streaming already. Well, actually, I should run the game so we can get audio, right? Let's give it a shot. Game's running. Share. Is the game running?
That was fast. Fast down.
Okay. This might be loud.
I can drop it on my side.
Cool. As long as it's okay for everybody else.
There we go.
Okay, so this is a game called Gong Bat, and it looks very something. Also, I like these credits. There's 2 of them, and they're the same person. All right, Gong Bat. Log into your Game Jolt account. No, I'm good. This is a story mode. This is involved. I'm just gonna try arcade.
An actual game.
Yeah, so that was the thing. So like I had kind of what I had in mind for Jonah. I did have his gamer card, so to speak.
What was on
and
it?
I think it said action and puzzle and some other stuff. That Jonah liked games with architecture and weird shit. Those stood out. So what in particular that I was looking for, and this is mostly like I kind of ignored it at first, because what I was looking for is something that I've been talking to Jonah a little bit about recently, which is games that are using like found assets, just games that are constructed out of random junk that you can get online. So
Yeah.
I was looking for a game that had something like that, but turns out most of those games are terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, but while I like the idea, what I was finding a lot of was like crappy first-person horror games, which there are a lot of. So that wasn't that interesting. So I was just like cruising through itch, and I was like, oh, this kind of reminds me of like the games that say we were probably making a while ago, like in the Flashpunk and Flixel days. And this looked
Yeah.
like it had very much that vibe. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, this is cool. So that's why I picked this one up for Jonah.
This is extremely strange, and like it's very weighty in a way that I'm not used to for a shooter. But because you don't die in a single hit, it's actually kind of working pretty well.
Yeah, it's cool. And the main reason that I selected it over anything else was it's actually a pretty good involved game. I'm like, dang, this is tight.
Also, I like the UI and the fact that you turn into a giant, even weirder looking bat
So
as you
good.
take damage, I think. Also, this music feels on brand for rectangles, I feel.
Love
If y'all
the
can hear it.
carnage meter.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very good.
I've been playing a lot of shmups lately because there's this cool thing that lets you play arcade games called Fightcade. And I open it sometimes to play fighting games with my friends, and then I don't play fighting games because they're stressful. And I play shoot 'em ups instead. I don't know what's happening.
Carnage,
I think I'm being put in a cage. This is a puzzle?
Yeah, you're doing great.
Oh, I have to free the bats from the cage?
There you go.
Yeah,
This
you
is
did it.
sick.
Use your carnage.
And straight. Yes, I
love the, like,
activated my
motion blur
carnage.
effects going on.
Oh, I'm getting trophies. This is a lot.
Life form.
Yeah.
found.
Some of these really do, like the sprites look like kind of found assets or like kit bashed, except not.
Yeah, I usually don't like when pixel stuff gets rotated in a non-pixel way or blurred or whatever, but it's working here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why it kind of reminded me of Flashpunk Flixel stuff. Is
Yeah.
like because that was totally possible. It does have a little bit of that like what's called Mode 9 feel to it, but I think everything was like catered to that, and that effect was like present on those engines too.
You can deflect projectiles with when you power up.
Huh.
This
Yeah,
is pretty sick.
like the texture on the rock and everything is so cool too.
No, this is very cool.
Huh.
Thank you. There's an upgrade
Get 'em.
system that I don't understand how to upgrade.
No, Gong Bat.
Yeah, like I played it a few minutes just to make sure that it kind of worked, but when I played it in those few minutes, I was like, oh wow, this was actually good.
Very cool. Thank you.
Yeah.
I
My
will play
pleasure
that
to pick it
more
up.
afterwards, but I'm gonna pass on my game. So I'm gonna stop streaming so I don't give it away,
Oh,
and I'm going to head
what's
on
gonna
back,
be?
and I'm gonna send my game to
Drum roll.
Eric
To me.
McQuiggan.
Eric McQuiggan.
Yes. Oh, it's okay. So it runs in browser.
It did actually say the bat was egocentric, and I'm not quite sure what it was trying to say there. And also, there was a cool cyborg guy trying to capture the bat. I'm not sure, but I will dig into this.
You should post
So-
the link to it in Twitch chat also.
I
Yeah,
think
that'd be
it's a
handy
HTML
if,
file, I'm not sure.
Want to toss links out there? We'll throw the links out on Twitter afterwards as well too, maybe.
Yeah, I think it
Cool.
might have music.
There you go.
There we
All right.
go.
Can you see mine?
Yeah,
All right. So this is timeline.
this is timeline.
All right, here we go. WebGL Unity, can't go wrong. All right.
Okay.
Seed, kid.
Is there any way
All
you
right.
can full screen it? There's a button
Yes.
there. Give it a shot. Perfect.
Nice.
Okay. So this game
Ooh.
is a management game about interconnectivity. You start with 2 kids and a tree, and if you put if you put a seed out, you get a field, and if you put a kid next to the tree, you get wood, and every time you attach someone to something else, you got some cows there. So cows, you can put them further out to make more pastures, or you can take the laborer, the person who they spawn at the very bottom.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, you can move them around. So the laborers, if you put a kid in a pasture, they become a laborer, and if you place them on their own, they'll dig a mine. But you can pick up that. Yeah, it produces a stone and it converts what it says, but you can pick up the mine again, the dot where the mine was,
Oh yeah.
and put it on one of the trees. You'll need to move it. You can move it down if it's easier.
Done.
I love these sounds.
Yeah,
Music and
this is
sounds is
very
really
fun.
good.
the laborer is back on the field again.
Oh, is he?
Yeah, at the bottom. There. So if you say put them beneath one of the trees, it'll say get wood. Okay, so put wood a little bit further out, and you can build a cottage. So a cottage converts food, like from that field you've got next to you that's over to the left, I think.
Right. So, yes, over here.
Food creates, they can only reach so far, but if you drag it over just underneath it, yeah, you get another kid.
Ah.
And now that kid can become another laborer or can work in a different place.
So get labor. Okay. Okay.
And the point of this little game is that you can undo any of your decisions, but you can only undo the last one because all the others are still tied into everything that's come before.
Right.
So you have to think about your decisions, and it's less of like it's like a world building game. You can't do much with manure until later, I think.
Right.
But you can use the cows. Some of them just work to allow you to pass things further, like turning a cow into another pasture lets you send more cows further down the road.
Now we got religion.
Stone. Yeah. Food to food, kid to apprentice.
So.
And you have one tree that just keeps producing seeds, so you eventually need to build a line of trees all the way down so you always have access to wood.
Right. Oh, I need to get another kid.
You've got some food at the far left, I think.
Oh, the food to the kid?
Food
Doesn't go that far.
to the
Food
cottage.
to the house to get the kid.
And then the
Got
kid
it.
becomes an apprentice. There's limited numbers of
Kid.
spots that they can
Apprentice.
connect. And then an apprentice, when put out on their own,
Builds a workshop. Got it. Okay, cool. Wood to paper, cow to food, iron to pipe. Oh, so I can use that to make food as well.
yeah.
So if I drag a cow off to the food, I get food. And make a kid that way. Oh, I see. Okay. So we get the food.
So
I don't need another pasture.
the only way to keep building a bigger world with this and to discover all of the things that you can do is to basically be a good steward of it.
Right.
Put things close enough together that they work, but like always have kids learning and always have trees growing, and
Oh, yeah. You
it's
can
just
see them.
it keeps going.
That's pretty cool. I like, yeah, the music is great.
I spent so long playing with this.
Don't need that manure, though.
It's like one thing I also love about this is when you mouse over something and it mentions something you haven't found yet. Cows can
What,
go
like
really
iron?
far. Yeah, or like electricity to student is what the house does also.
Oh, yeah. The
Yeah, you
workshop.
don't see too many games that are like basically one-dimensional.
Yeah.
No, it's like Kingdom and what else?
Line wobbler.
Line Wobbler, yes. Labor to engineer, student to scholar, but I don't even have apprentice. I don't have students. My labor
You'll
business
need
is way over.
electricity.
Kid to call. That's
Yeah.
Is this game saying like if you give a kid work, then they become an adult? 'Cause
I guess in the context of the game, it's like if you give someone actual work to do, they'll learn something and be able to do
like
something.
they will grow up to become.
I think it's
a
less
coal
about
miner.
like
We're not putting
kids
children to
work.
work in these coal mines.
except kids are the only thing that make coal in mines, so it's not ideal.
Yeah.
But laborers can get iron, and that can make a pipe. And if you put the pipe further out, you can build a pump.
convert electricity to oil, but I don't know how to do electricity. So I got to get a laborer. And I get my laborers from here. But I need on my field. Oh, used up all my fields.
So you may have to walk back some of the last things that you placed to get the connections back.
Right.
And you can do that just by dragging them underneath the thing it comes from. Yeah. So it's like, okay, you can't make pipe yet. So the dot that is the only other dot you could see on the workshop is the.
Oh, that one. Oh, I see. Labor. I can't really take them anywhere else. Let's look at this kid back.
Yeah. And people can go much further than resources can.
Sure. Engineer. What do you do, engineer? Build a factory, of course. Coal to electricity, oil to fuel, manure to fertilizer, iron to robot, and kid to labor. There you go. They get those robots.
It just keeps going.
Yeah, I can see.
So yeah.
How long? Oh, I can't take that. Can't take that too far. Cool.
Yeah.
I think I would have to undo a whole bunch of stuff because a lot of my connections are stuck.
Yeah.
Right now,
it's the
but
kind of thing you'll probably start over and anyway, 15 minutes in or whatever.
Yeah.
But you mentioned sort of, if I recall correctly, just kind of constructive city builders or
yeah, simulation games.
Simulation games, and this was like the first thing I saw, and the style jumped out at me, and it turned out to be very cool.
Oh yeah, no, I love this. This is excellent. Thank you very much, Jonah.
No problem.
Cool. I have to keep playing this.
Yeah, I kept thinking about it for a little while. Just the idea of you have to make it sustainable, or you don't get to keep playing the game.
Yeah,
is a cute little touch.
You kind of the wheels come off because you can't drag it out any further. Cool. All right. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Yeah, it's neat. I like any game that lets you take sort of multiple stabs at it and see if you've actually found everything in the game yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And when
Cool.
when it mentions something you haven't found yet, your brain immediately is like, "Hey, okay, wait, how?"
All right. Oh, the music, I have to stop it. There we go. Thank you. That's awesome.
No problem.
Right. I had Kezia. Oh, you.
Me.
So here is
I
the...
couldn't have ever predicted this. How could this have happened?
There you go. I dropped it in the chat.
Before we get into it too much, I gotta say goodbye to everyone.
Liam,
I'm an old man and I am sleepy.
No
Liam, happy
worries.
holidays.
Happy holidays.
Been a pleasure, folks. Thanks everyone for coming and checking out Dirty Santa. I can't wait to check out the rest of the games tomorrow.
Hell yeah, we will see you in 2022.
Scary.
William.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Bye, Liam.
Shots all kinds of fucked up now.
This one seems like I can play in browser. So
Yeah, you can play this one in browser.
Yeah. Let me just stream that. We're all
So-
good.
My process for picking this one, you had put your favorite genres are adventure and RPGs, which, hey, two great choices. And then spooky elements, weird surreal art styles, and or gay shit. So I spent a long time on itch searching for
Uh-oh.
real surreal looking stuff.
Uh-oh.
And I don't know, a lot of times there was a hard balance to find between good quality gameplay and surreal visuals. But I found something that I thought was pretty weird, and honestly, it's kind of season appropriate. So you play this terrifying three-eyed lion creature.
That sounds amazing. I love it already. And I haven't
And-
even started. Can I choose a different character?
No, not yet. I don't think.
Oh, okay. That's gonna be in the future.
There's a bunch of unlocks in the game,
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
All right.
so feel free to go.
Spacebar. Oh, see,
Oh, yeah,
got it.
Z and X.
Oh, that's
Okay.
that's a bit loud. One moment.
Oh. And so you're roaming through the countryside, delivering presents to children. And see if you can figure out the theme of the presents that you're giving to these kids.
Look at that thing.
All right. How's that for sound? Is that better?
Perfect.
All
It's
right.
good. If it's good for you, it's good for us.
All right. Perfect.
Gotta deliver
Oh
all
my
the
goodness.
Battle trumpet.
Battle trumpet.
children.
Micro laser, HP plus,
HP plus.
lunar curtain,
Damn, I could use an HP plus.
organics.
So as you go further in,
Deliver vaccine. Hairpin.
Yep.
Micro laser.
oh, micro laser again. Battle trumpet
Battle
again.
trumpet again.
I guess you just have to find every person, every little meeple.
Metal knuckle.
Deal.
Because of the explosion of presents and
It's
the
pretty
actual,
good.
the dancing present.
It's very juicy.
I had not noticed the juiciness of the actual present receivers, where they're actually doing quite
Clever
a
Gatling gun.
jaunty dance.
Molotov.
Oh, the
10.
massive moon ring.
Chaos. These are very good presents. I hope I get some of these for Christmas. Or all of them. All of them would be pretty good. Odin.
Odin.
Great Gospel. Mystify. Press C to jump in mid-air. Double jump.
So, I don't know, in my playthrough, a lot of them were Final Fantasy items.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
guess it changes.
They have a little bit of that flavor, right?
Yeah.
Power soul.
Long range.
Yeah, so I think they're just custom like upgrades. It said whatever they had lying around, so.
That's good. I love any game that has a long list of stuff, just so you get to see all the stuff.
Oh, yes, deliver these children the skulls of your enemies.
I love the design in this guy. Very awesome. Does he have one green eye and one red eye?
That's good.
And one
he's
blue
got,
eye.
He's got 3 eyes, actually. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I did see Cosmo Memory, and I think that is definitely a Final Fantasy thing.
It's kind of relaxing to just
Creation.
deliver presents to all these
Grenade.
like weird children. All these cursed presents.
Is this what it feels like to be
Final
Santa?
heaven.
How's it
Chocobo
going?
lure.
Chocobo
Okay,
lure,
here
there
we're
you
getting
go.
the Final Fantasy
Alright, here we
items.
go.
Sneak glove.
I like that.
Press
Whatever
X to
kind
dash.
Oh,
of creature you are.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely have like a very Final Fantasy-esque hairdo.
Oh yeah, the spiky hair is definitely key to this creature.
Very like hangy. I'm surprised you don't have like hair drills.
giving me Alf vibes.
I got it.
Ooh.
Yes.
That safety belt.
Ultima weapon.
Ooh, Ultima.
Cool.
I think there's maybe like a photo of Alf wearing a Santa hat that we've maybe all seen like a million times. It's like somewhere in our brains.
I
But the
wonder if
colors are
anybody,
definitely like this.
if anybody in the chat knows, are these all just from a specific Final Fantasy? Or are they from multiple Final Fantasy. Finals Fantasy.
I don't have my
Gotta
chat
use
up.
that dash.
Yeah, the dash.
They definitely put in the work to make this satisfying.
Nice.
I missed one over
Four
here.
left.
Oh no.
Or did I get them all?
It says Children 0.
Uh-oh.
Uh
Is there an exit
It's
now?
Spirit 16. Oh, what's that? Oh
I
yeah,
don't
there's
know.
probably an exit that popped up.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh, to log up. Oh yeah, I gotta find the exit. There it is.
Here we go.
Oh, the Maiden's Kiss.
Ooh,
Two
doubles.
Maiden's Kisses. Another vaccine.
Distribute those vaccines.
XMN.
Wisers.
There's definitely some FF7 in here, but I'm wondering if there's...
Okay, I definitely need something new to get that one. New
You're gonna need
skill.
a shine spark or something. Shinra Beta.
Yes.
You're almost there. New level coming. I jump.
High jump.
Yeah.
Alright.
There you go. That
Fine.
remedy.
It's like Castlevania. Just
Yeah.
smash your head into the ceiling over and over again.
I should play Symphony of Night again.
Yeah. Or the Advanced Collection, which is good. Pretty
Oh
rad.
yeah.
Magic Plus. There's a lot of materia here. Definitely.
35th is here.
Yeah, there were like 3 Final Fantasy references there.
Yeah, it must be drawn from a pool, but I couldn't figure out the pool of games it was trying to draw from.
Yeah, Final Fantasy. I think there was another.
What upgrade would you get next?
I know they happen so fast. I forget them like right away.
You already got a double jump and
potion.
or high jump and a dash. Maybe it's a double jump
Yeah.
next.
Oh, you got the double jump.
Oh. What else can there be?
Did I get? Oh no, there's some
You
up
got another
there.
level of kids up there. Oh, big jump.
Maybe a high jump, yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Alright. Over here, do I do a big jump?
This is a Bubsy
Up
level.
here.
Yeah, 25th anniversary of Bubsy.
Oh, can you do like big jump and then dash?
You might.
There we
Ooh.
go.
Ah, there you go.
Pro strats.
Through strats.
Oh, here comes level 5.
This would probably be unironically quite fun to speedrun.
Yeah, no, it's designed around it, for sure.
Oh, excellent.
Oh, that must be where the goal is. I think there's another platform. Yeah, you got it.
Oh, down here or up here.
Up on the left, I think. Up there.
Ah, you are correct.
I'm enjoying the clearly, what I'm assuming are clearly SFXer sound effects for the jumps and stuff. But
Oh,
I
yeah.
do feel like this would be improved if it had the Super
There we go.
Metroid like spinny jump sound.
Whoosh.
Ooh.
Oh, 60.
And like the little landing like flop noise.
There's way more to this game than I thought there was.
He's
Yeah,
going.
maybe one more screen and then we're done, or because I don't know how many levels are in this.
Apparently there's 60 kids. So in this area.
It's turning into like the town part of Ghouls and Ghosts, you know?
Castlevania, yeah.
Or Castlevania 2, yeah.
Terrible night for a curse.
Good night for Santa, though.
Yeah, he's doing all right.
Silver rifle.
Fight Diary.
How long do you make a game like this? What's
Nah.
what's the sweet spot?
I think until you run out of ideas for level reskin.
Or like movement mechanics that you can add?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is gaining one ability over time, I guess.
The last level up didn't have one, so
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal with that was.
might be an upper limit.
They're all.
Why don't we get to the next level here and see if we get a new mechanic.
Yeah. We'll get to the next level, see if it ends, and if not, we will call it quits. But no,
Delivered?
this is good. Yeah, Shiva's there. More Final Fantasy.
You probably need to go up.
This one.
I think I went the wrong way. Oh well.
Up and over.
Can you get over that?
Nice.
Oh, you just level up. It
Yeah.
doesn't give you any abilities.
no
Oh,
abilities.
that's too bad.
Yeah, I guess that's all the abilities.
Found them all.
Yeah.
You did it.
Delivered throw.
Yeah, jump, double jump, high jump, dash.
What more do you need?
What else do you need? How do I get up there?
Still got a stack of children to find. Should we move on?
Yeah, maybe we let these 24 kids go without their presents.
It's just I'm having flashbacks to the DOS days
Yeah.
where I would spend like weeks playing a single platformer level, but not because mostly just because they were like, well, we've got mazes.
Yeah. Hours of gameplay because you're lost and you can't find that last thing.
Oh, you almost clipped through that.
Speed strats?
Yeah. Speedrun strats.
Does this guy have a name? Was there any lore at the beginning of this that I missed?
Not really. I think the character's
this is-
name.
Isn't it Sun? Isn't that what it
Yeah.
said?
Oh, okay.
No, I just realized it says children.
Yeah, children.
Oh, yeah.
It's very happy. Loco weed.
Thanks, Santa. Oh, I just got hazardous waste.
Some sad kids over here.
We still
How
better
do
than
I get to them?
the kid who gets Odin and just gets his house cut in half.
Issue.
Probably
There
needed
you
it.
go.
There's another one there.
I love that we're starting to get like some slowdown here.
Too many kids dancing for presents.
Oh my goodness. Last 5. 4.
We're almost there.
Battery.
3.
Gotta be someone. Yeah, there's 2. There's 3. Yeah, they're all up there.
Yes.
Now those 2, I don't know how you get at.
I assume down and to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't get over.
I guess I can't.
There you
There
go.
we go.
There you go.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Now I just have to find the candy cane.
Probably at the right somewhere.
Top right.
Top right. Maybe.
Huh.
Not this
Bottom
top
right?
right.
Bottom right.
Bottom right, I hope so. There we go.
There
There. Did I do it? Did I beat the game?
Yeah. Maybe?
Oh, it's a
Oh.
cutscene.
Oh, it's the
This
envelope.
is
Oh.
different. Oh.
Oh, now I get a present.
Oh,
What?
boy.
Oh my god.
Oh
Aw.
It's gay shit,
Smooches.
maybe.
Maybe, yeah. Who knows?
Beautiful.
Fastest
The
time.
best.
You the best.
Yay.
This is great.
Very good.
This was
It's
wonderful.
lovely.
Thank you, Eric. This was a
No
lovely
problem.
game. I'm
Can you
so
change the
glad I
character?
did it.
Good job.
I don't think I can change the character now.
Oh, fine.
Top secret unlocks.
Yeah,
I don't know what the
secret.
three.
That's paid DLC.
Yeah.
I don't know what the three little dots above the title are, but they occasionally get a little bit
Oh.
small.
That's a good point. They
Might
just
have
look
some
like,
secrets.
yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go to this broken Christmas shot for a second because it's fun. There we go. Some of our cameras are okay.
Yes.
We'll fix this while we set up the next person here. All right, Kezia,
Yeah.
who do you
All right.
have?
All right, so turns out I have Eric B, the other Eric.
Yay.
Yay!
I'm
So
excited
that is
to
exciting.
Find out what it is.
Yep. So Eric gave a few genres and games that he loves. And this checks off a few of the boxes because there's a sense of exploration, weird visuals, and minimalist rule sets. It is a bit spooky,
Okay.
so hopefully you're okay with a little spooky, but
Yeah,
I
I'm
thought
alright.
it was pretty cool.
I mean, I've been having a bit of trouble with the new Metroid, but if it's less spooky than the new Metroid, I'll be fine.
Well, it's definitely easier than the new Metroid, if that helps. Probably less jump scary, so here you go.
Ooh. You just download this.
Yeah, just take a moment to download it. Take too long. It also has music in it, and I know you like music, so I thought it would
Do you
also
like
suit
music?
that.
Music is good. Yeah, it's gonna take 2 minutes to download.
Perfect. You guys having fun? Everyone loves video games. Itch.io.
Video
Yeah.
games.
I highly recommend doing this on itch if you ever don't know what to do with yourself. Search for something specific, because if you look at the new tab, there will be a lot of horror games and adult games and horror adult games.
Yes, that's something I noticed.
But if
I
you
did.
search for specific stuff that you're looking for, or tags that you like, you'll find a surprising amount of stuff. And I have found that a lot of the traffic to my old games comes from weird tags that I put on them. Even the joke tags sometimes get people coming in. So tag your games and search for tags.
Yeah, I found a lot of cool games just looking for games for today.
Yeah, because you could make up your own tag, right? You don't have to subscribe to one. I think you can
Yeah,
just
I
plug
think
in whatever,
it
and
could be-
it'll start a subsection for that. So take your shit, steal those verbs.
Yeah, if you want to tag your game like greasy or something, you can do it.
Greasy. I love that.
I was definitely searching the surreal tag on itch to try and find something, which is a good one to search, but I didn't think any of them were particular. Like, some of the ones I found were neat, but yeah, it's a hard game. You the best.
If you search for greasy
Not
on
bad.
itch.io, you get about 6 or 7 games. So if you want to get in there, while there's not a whole lot going on, you could be the top greasy game on itch.
Right,
I've
19
got-
seconds left.
No worries. At least a few of my games, specifically just the tag weird, has got an outsized amount of traffic compared to all the other tags.
Yeah, I've definitely looked at the weird tag. a bunch.
Interesting.
You'll never find a game that takes itself too seriously in the weird tag, I think.
Yeah, that's part of the fun. It's just, I think on itch, weird is one of those tags that's like a bit of a dumping ground, right? Same with like horror and puzzle.
I thought it would be, but I think, like I said, I think not a lot of people are going to tag their game weird unless it is. Because if it isn't, then they'll take it seriously and they'll be like, it's not weird. It's
Sure. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Genre defining.
Auteur.
It's art.
Oh, okay. Escape closes the game. All right.
the classic.
Is there a way for me to make it not full screen? I guess it's just going to be full screen. It's fine.
I'm excited to see whatever this is.
It seems to not have a title screen, but it is called
Yeah, I think it just brings you straight into the game.
Symphony of Seven Souls. Having some Discord issues.
I looked up the tag farming and timeline showed up.
And that game was so cool.
Yeah.
With some pure luck.
That
Yeah, it's sort of interesting.
That perfect
when you-
mix of like minimalism visuals with clearly deep system design, right? Super cool.
When you put stuff up on itch, it's kind of interesting to just see like even your like old projects will still get like, you know, 30 downloads or something like that, like every month if they're free, you know, like that kind of thing. I don't know. It's just neat to think that like there's like a decent amount of people at least downloading your game or whatever every so often.
Yeah, for sure. I go on itch all the time just to like peruse, maybe not like once a week, maybe every other week or something. See what's free, see what's, or just like pay what you want or whatever, and just fart around, see what I can find. It's fun.
Okay, sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Oh no, it's not
I'm
working.
pressing share screen and it just loads forever on Discord.
Oh no.
Try a window, maybe, like
I
one of the other
can't.
ones.
It's like bringing up the thing to select that isn't working.
Do you want to jump out of the call and jump back in?
Yeah, maybe I'll try closing the game too for now.
There should be an option to switch to screens in the share thing, I think.
Beautiful shot. Eric's camera's fine for some reason.
I'm still sort of here. I'm like sharing a square with Kezia.
All good.
It's like in Hollywood Squares when they like walk over to the other square and visit one of the other people.
I'd forgotten all about that. They do that bit quite a bit.
They do. It's a good bit.
The people on the top there must like bring snacks or something.
Yeah. Pass them down to the people below.
Yeah. Be up there all day.
Man, that show's not still on TV, is it? Let's bring that back.
Yeah.
Except if they brought it back now, it'd be all like YouTubers or something.
TV doesn't really exist.
That's fair.
Is the window? Oh, is it? Sorry. I think it should work now.
Oh, something's happening.
Oh yeah.
You can see it? You getting sound?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool.
There we go.
Left mouse button.
Now we're rocking. Whoa,
Go
we
to
got
strings. Right mouse button. Play violin.
a violin or a fiddle. Oh, I guess I can assume it's a violin.
What?
It's green and red a little bit, so it's kind of
Oh,
festive.
Some kind of banshee or something.
Christmas colors.
Spooky for sure. don't want to stop playing this. It's a violin. Seven Soul Symphony.
There's something super familiar about this.
There was another little platform next to the starting one. I wonder if it had more info on that.
Over here? Is it bad?
On the other side, see there?
One key or two key darker. Oh, that's the brightness setting.
Oh, never mind.
Honestly, that's
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
So
In
yeah,
a game like this, to actually be able to see the background.
So let's boost it a little. Yeah, that's a neat way of integrating options menu into the game.
it's very like mid '90s, early 3D.
Yeah,
Yes.
like a thief or something.
Yeah. I was thinking Die by the Sword, but yeah, Thief works.
Yeah.
See, I keep thinking about how to get. Oh, thought I saw something.
Yeah,
How to
something
create
like
an aesthetic
in the
like this.
sky or something.
And I think the answer is just have bad textures.
But like uniform,
not-
it's uniformly bad though, right? It's not
Yeah,
just it's not
have-
just bad all over the place. There's still a cohesiveness to the to it.
But every time I go back to play an old game, it's gruntier than I remember.
Oh, I'm spooked.
I don't think that Umbrella was doing much.
Yeah.
They probably appreciate the music.
Yeah.
I was gonna say in that previous little town that you kind of left, everybody left their ghoulish rags out to dry, but it's raining. They're not gonna get dry.
They weren't thinking ahead.
You gotta bring that laundry in.
Should we go in? Let's go in.
Oh. Oh no.
I didn't play past this part, so I'm
Oh.
sorry if it gets too spooky.
The abandoned wheelchair? What's creepier than that?
I can handle it.
I was gonna say, you can always keep playing your music.
Hopefully there's not any like early
It's much more
early
soothing.
internet style screamers. That will be okay.
Is there more reverb now that you're inside this
Oh,
hall?
definitely.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
pretty good.
Right.
It feels like it had too much work put into it to just be like a screamer.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of like.
I did look at the description and it said no jump scares, so
Very
all
good.
All the spooky things seem to like slowly fade in, which is.
There's a guy
opposite of
on the
jump
bed,
scare.
but I think you have to play the violin to get him to
Oh,
appear.
that's how that works. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're soothing their souls.
I think so. And I think I
Yeah.
saw some lights at some point that were like leading you to them or something.
Oh, you're
Um,
faster when you're not playing.
I remember.
The
Me
models
too.
and textures on the
Wheelchair's knocked
actual,
over.
the actual spirits are pretty cool. The guy in the bed looked really interesting.
The chair just moved?
Did it?
That's worrying.
Yeah, it's moving by itself. Oh,
Oh,
It's
neat.
moving when I'm not looking at it.
Oh, the classic.
some good Clive Barker Undying.
Oh, it just vanished. Oh.
I think it's just moving around.
Yeah.
This is having a
just
good time.
chilling.
It's cool.
I think
There was
as
that
long as you
one-
keep
was it
playing your music,
Sherlock
they're
Holmes
fine.
game where
Oh yeah,
they didn't want to animate Watson moving, so he only moves when you don't look at him.
yeah.
Teleports.
Whenever you're because it does a raycast from the character's camera, and whenever there's a raycast that doesn't go through any of to the character, he will teleport. So you could like scan. He would go behind a pillar, and then he'd turn to the right, and then he would show up right beside you. And it was it's one of my favorite things to show students when I'm like, hey, if you don't want to do movement, just move things when you're not looking.
Well, Watson.
Full of Watson.
Where did that door close
Remember,
again?
years ago a good GDC talk where someone talked about putting things. I think they might have worked at Valve or something. They talked about putting things where the player wasn't looking, but the actual high, like the like top tier cosmic brain tech was putting things where the player was going to look.
Interesting.
And like having 4 places where a thing could show up, so
Mhm.
that way instead of forcing the player to look in a certain direction,
Yeah.
you just put it wherever they're looking.
Yeah.
Huh. That's actually super smart.
Use the same technique, but kind of backwards.
Yeah. Interesting.
That was like in the game A Short Hike. There's a shovel you need to find, and you think that you found the one place the shovel is, but actually there's like 8 different places it can be.
Yeah.
That game was
And when
really
you find
good.
it, the rest of them disappear.
I'm gonna have to like stare at this game for a while because I really like these textures.
Yeah, I don't know if there's something else for me to discover in there, or if I should keep exploring elsewhere.
I feel
I
like
don't
if I
know.
were making this, there would be one in like each area. Might have to go back to the town.
That's one thing that I'm interested in is like like old aesthetics or old game genres that don't exist, but using more modern design sensibilities.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I've definitely noticed like there's more games like styled like this, sort of styled like PlayStation 1 games, like just sort of leaning into those kind of like really low poly, low res textures.
Yeah.
Kind of like how pixel art was kind of the big thing for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hey boy.
I think there's a certain like mid-level of fidelity that you can get to, where you can make a game that looks kind of like how you remember these games looking, but actually a bit better than they originally looked. But I think striking that balance is really hard for the same reason why the Super HD texture packs look weird in Minecraft.
Right.
For sure. And it's also like a frame rate thing as well, because like this is probably like 60 FPS, so like it's interesting to see like these older style graphics, but it's like, oh no, this is like a modern frame rate essentially.
Are you playing along with the music?
And here's everyone. They're all together.
Ah, these are all the ones you've collected
ones I've
so
collected,
far,
yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that
This is
makes
Yeah.
cool. It's a
How many of
ghost
them are there?
play.
5? 4.
Yeah, I'm probably missing at least 1 or 2.
I assume 7 because it's called 7 Souls.
Oh, that's right. 7.
That's my
yeah.
guess. At
So I'm missing
least.
3.
Huh.
Playing along with the background music is very, very good.
Yeah.
Yes. Good atmosphere in this game.
Yeah. Also, really good use of another thing. A lot of those old games made good use of was colored lights, or simulating colored lights using vertex colors.
Yeah.
And you can just use colored lights, like modern colored lights, and they look pretty much like they used to with the vertex colors. So you can kind of fake that pretty easily.
Okay, we've been here.
I'm also pretty sure if you make everything grungy enough, you don't need shadows.
Grungy really is the word for this generation, right? And like any game that tries to copy this style, like it works best when it's hitting that grunge mark. Otherwise, I find it just comes across as traditional low poly or whatever. Like that
Yeah, you can't
PS1
make it too
style
clean.
is just grungy textures, right?
Yeah.
And
Does anyone have any suggestions where I should go?
head to your left, or I'm a little behind probably, but is there anywhere else in the town that you can go?
find anyone in the forest?
I don't know that I did. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Figure that's probably like one ghost
One
per
per
area,
area.
sort of
Yeah.
thing. So I guess
Yeah.
it's 5, so you're probably missing 2.
Yeah.
Or possibly just one, because you might be the 7th.
Ooh.
Ooh.
That's that writer's brain working for me.
The camera like zooms out and it's like, you're the ghost.
No.
We might have spoiled it.
I mean, it's true. I don't see a hand on that violin bow.
It's
I-
true.
I also like that this game successfully fits in with JW's first law of video games, which is if you give someone the ability to shoot, you should give them the reason not to shoot. And in this case, you could have the ability to play the whole time, but you have a reason not to play the whole time.
Yeah, it's like games where you can run infinitely, and they never really give you a reason to not run.
I do like the fact that the bow and playing are separate inputs means you could just kind of tentatively be like,
Just a little stage anxiety, no worries. I don't know, guys. I don't know if I can play this. Too many ghosts watching
Oh.
me.
So what area have I not found someone in then?
What's that?
The stone brown area.
That I'm in now?
No, all the areas are stone brown areas. Sorry.
But you haven't
This is
actually found
better.
one in the town part itself, just in
Right.
buildings.
Like where I am now, you mean?
So yeah, I wonder if there's maybe one hidden in a corner here.
Or another building
One
you
of
could go
these little-
inside.
You might hear them.
Yeah, I thought I heard something around here. Maybe
You
not.
look up. Is there any verticality in this? There's
Yeah,
like cages
can you-
hanging, right? Isn't there?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe there's something in one of these little.
All the windows have them Bloodborne cages on them.
Ah, yes.
Just walking around being like, is there anybody in this corner who wants to hear my violin?
Yeah, for all I know, there's an entire area I just didn't find, but
Can you try going back to the place where all the ghosts have gathered?
I can try.
Maybe that will do something. Maybe it was only 5 this whole time. They lied.
Let's try going back. Let's look over here first. Oh, this is the wheelchair place. Never mind. It was. I get very easily turned around.
Not a whole lot of tells in order for you to navigate this
Yeah.
map.
No.
That was always one of the challenges of the grungy texture generation. I recently tried to play Shadow Tower, one of the early like FromSoft antecedents of Dark Souls, and that game sure is brown. Any corner ghosts?
Good call. Check out the corners. Just some friends.
Yeah. All right, so I think we're still missing some, but I don't know how much longer I should wander through.
I think you did a good
Trying to
job
find
here.
Yeah, no, it's great.
Yeah.
This is excellent.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this. Really good.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Just,
No problem.
I like wandering around and just discovering stuff. And it's like super cool atmosphere, and they did really nail the grungy PlayStation style.
Yeah, I actually saw someone post about this, like, I think a while ago, and then I saved it. And then I was looking through games, and I was like, I don't know what to find for Eric. And then I was looking through the games that I saved, and it's like, oh, maybe I should just give Eric this game. And then I
Thanks,
did.
it's great. Thank you, Kezia.
No problem.
It's
All
very
right, should
good
I
move.
should I
So
pass
cool.
on to the next
Sure.
person?
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. I had Derek.
That's me.
Yeah. And I actually chose a game, and then I realized it was only Windows, and I wasn't sure if that would be okay, so I also chose a second backup game.
Ooh.
So there's one that works only on Windows, and there's one that's on Windows and Mac.
We can try that.
I will post this one.
By deduction, I'm going to assume that Derek has Eric, and then Eric has me.
Or I got Eric.
Oh, you had Eric.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
wait.
think you're the last one, James.
Huh.
No, I meant other Eric.
We got to fix your deduction chip. Peter James.
Did McQuiggan go? Or are you in it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, then I don't.
Both Erics went.
My deduction doesn't work.
It's all good.
All right, I posted it.
I just figured I would be last because I was first.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't even
It's-
think.
We're lucky we didn't get into a cycle of like 2 or 3 people.
I am downloading.
Would have been here all night.
Yeah. Just playing the same games.
Yep,
Over and
over and over.
Oh, I had my camera off that whole time. I did not notice.
Thought you were doing it to represent your spectral protagonist.
Yeah, that works.
While you get that set up, I am going to dip because I have to go walk the dog. But
Bye, Jonah.
Hi,
thank you,
Jonah.
Hi,
Liam.
Jonah.
Thank
Bye.
you, Liam, who isn't here for the game. And thanks, everybody. And go find some cool games on itch and give them to your friends.
Hell yeah.
Why
Yes.
not try doing this?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Make Christmas your
And-
own.
Yeah. And I'll see
This
all the
is the true
rectangles
meaning of
friends.
Christmas.
Oh,
I think we've all learned something today.
I'm also gonna grab this game before I go. But take it easy, everybody, and have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
See ya.
You, Jonah.
Okay.
Bye.
Screen real quick. Capture. Window. Okay. You guys have Twitch chat? The Twitch open?
Yeah.
Probably gonna
Mhm.
want to follow along on there because I'm streaming on a different machine than my Discord machine.
Okay.
Get over there. This. I'm gonna do something funny here on this end. Everyone hang tight. We call this live editing. Squeeze everybody over on this side. This. Good enough. Bam. Okay. So what I have here appears to be some kind of breakout game, I'm guessing. We'll see. I'm gonna swing over to the game, which means I'm not gonna have any control over the stream while I'm doing this. So somebody message me or you scream if everything bursts into flames.
Okay.
Okay. This game contains flashing colors and virtual stimuli. Awesome. We're going to turn those off. Yes, turn off. No, thank you. Everyone cool with flashing colors here?
Yes.
No thanks.
Warning for chat if you can't deal with it.
Breakout. BRK out. Got options. Quit. I don't know if my audio is going to work because this is not my regular setup on this machine. So sorry if this has really ballin' music.
It does.
Oh no. Everyone pretend the music is really good.
Will do.
Okay. Open. Oh, okay. Arena. Game, have fun. Oh, this looks great. Oh, yes. Oh, this is juicy. Okay. Oh, I can catch the block and it becomes part of me. Think.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, do each of my... Oh, so my paddle actually takes damage as I go and chips itself. That's cool. And then I could collect the blocks as they fall down. Oh, this is neat. This is very cool. Oh. How'd you find this one? Ah.
I looked at your suggestions, but then I also remembered that you were doing a series on Tetris. So I just tried looking up the Tetris tag, and despite not being Tetris, this was listed under the Tetris tag.
Oh, my jam.
And I thought you would like the aesthetic and what it's doing here. The music is really good too.
This is it reminds me a lot of the Juice It or Lose It talk.
Yes, exactly right.
But they have I like the modification. It also reminds me of like a weird shmup that I played like in 2004, I think, where you defeated the enemy ships, and then when they would fall from the sky, and then they would attach to your ship. And that's how you gain power-ups and things by defeating enemy ships and attaching it to your own. So
I can wrap around here. Yeah, so yeah, same idea here. And it looks like the blocks have like health, so it could take each one I think can take one hit and they turn kind of grayed out and then
right.
They go.
So there's like a level of attrition you have to stay on top of. Oh, it's got screen wrap.
Here we go. I don't know if I'm gonna beat this. Oh fuck.
But do the balls falling out matter?
Oh, I suppose, yeah, I don't know.
I don't think the balls falling matter, but what does matter is if you run out of blocks.
Exactly. It's my life,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh, some
so fucking interesting. See,
Star Giraffe levels of misdirection of intended mechanics.
Oh, come on. There we go. Trying to put some English on it. This is so cool. Video games are interesting again.
Do it. Yeah, and if you can any blocks that you hit down.
Look at that.
Boom.
They only add to your paddle if you actually catch them.
Press escape to reset or quit. Okay. Let's do that again. Oh, that's a cool effect. Okay.
Color bars?
Yes.
Whoop.
So good. Those blocks. Yeah, because you wanna go and catch those blocks, but then you also have a ball coming at you, so you have to the risk reward thing there. This is very good. Some of my absolute favorite games, and this is you choosing a very good game for me, Billy's. I think some of my absolute favorite games, and something that I don't recognize and reconcile with myself a lot, is just like 70s arcade games with a twist. Taking some kind of interesting twist on something that's just so fucking simple that you've played a million times. Like game design 101, everyone's programmed it in school, but you do some weird little quirk with it, right? Like turning your paddle into the blocks up above is what this is. and then you expand on that. But like that one little quirk is super interesting.
There's also there may be more going on in this game than it first appears.
Oh, really? Oh. Does that mean I have to get past this level to see anything interesting? Oh no.
Are the colors meaningful?
I don't know.
I don't know about that. I didn't get too far into it, but
Okay. Pretty sure we'll get past this level.
Maybe the level border has health, and if you hit the border enough, it
Oh.
dies, and then you're in a wider breakout world.
Oh, it's so hard to put English on it because of your like weird shaped paddle. It's gonna just bounce around and hit the other blocks in your paddle. Okay.
what do you mean when you say put English on it?
So it's like, well, I think that's the term
Swipe
for
at it.
pool, right? So like you
Yeah.
move the
Okay.
paddle to the left or to the right, and then it
Right.
puts a curve on it. Come on. I played a breakout machine in Toronto last weekend. It was a physical breakout cabinet by Atari. So it had like actual blocks inside of it. That was the Pong and the ball. And they would actually physically move around this giant, like 3x3 foot cocktail cabinet.
Wow.
It was the craziest thing. And it moved like super quick.
That's cool.
I won't beat this.
Yeah, the last few blocks are difficult.
How do you line those up? Ugh.
Hey, that
Come
might
on.
hit it.
Come on. Oh. Okay. Did I do good? That seems good. You're a winner. Press escape, spacebar to continue. I will continue. Next. Different shape. This is cool. I love this game. Do you have the link for this one? It'd be cool to toss it out in the chat. I don't have the I can't toss it up on the screen
Yeah,
here.
James put it
Yeah,
up.
James did
Awesome.
already.
Awesome. Everyone could go listen to the music that I'll check out after this. It's a really good example of just like, yeah, juicing it.
Yeah.
Put this in your class schedule for next year, Eric. Okay, we'll get through this one here and then we'll Is it what's the music like here? I'm expecting some like hard electro or something like that.
It's a little more chill.
Oh, okay,
I don't
cool.
know how to describe it exactly. It's got good beats
Cool.
and like some like chop samples and stuff.
With the shake and the explosions, I definitely picture something more like Yeah. You guys ever play Hold Down? Mobile game, kind of a breakout thing. Mix of a
No.
breakout and like
No, I haven't played it.
maybe Gold or something like that. But it's a similar thing where it's taking a breakout clone, putting a little spin on it. A very good game. Get that? Are we gonna get it? Whoa! I think it was supposed to do that.
Yeah, the bounces are a bit unpredictable sometimes.
You know. You know, like breakout's actually one of those interesting challenges to program because like it's not necessarily, you know, y times -1, x times -1
Yeah.
to do things properly, right?
My favorite is always Space Invaders because no one does Space Invaders properly.
Right. Oh, that was cool.
Because in the original Space Invaders, the hitboxes for like your level elements and things like that were per pixel.
Yeah.
So it would actually do like per pixel collision detection checks before I would explode, and the explosion would take out pixels
right
in like a radial shape. every modern version of Space Invaders instead arranges it in an 8-block grid, and each of those 8 blocks has damage. Like
Right.
you can take a certain number of hits. So you can't do what you used to be able to do in old school Space Invaders, which is shoot a hole through the middle of it and still be relatively protected, because you'd be just destroying your like the hits you have on that particular shield level.
Yeah, go figuring. Programming used to be hard.
Yeah.
Pixel per pixel collision like this. Eric, this is really cool. I'm gonna come back and check this out again with some sound.
I'm
I
glad
think this is
you're
right up
enjoying
my
it.
alley. This is gonna be after we leave rectangles and I go step out in my shed. I might come back to this guy after.
Lovely.
All right, shall we finish up with our next one here? I think we have one more of them left, right?
Sure.
Let me just fix them real quick. So the last one is gonna be for the one and only James Edward Smith. Let me send you a thing here in the chat. Bam. Bam.
I'm gonna have to reset up the scene a little bit too.
This is going to be actually a little bit of a good segue, I think. In the last one. Where do I...
Oh my God, Derek! I considered sending this one to Eric.
Did you seriously?
I seriously considered it.
That would have been really
We
funny.
could have. We almost had duplicate games.
I had backups just in case. I had 4 games in the pipe just in case.
Yeah, I had backups too. But yeah, this was unless I had 2 other backups, so it's fine. But
That's interesting.
I had one backup.
It's good to have a backup.
Chat here.
yeah, I decided against it because Eric's thing said minimalist rules. So I was like, I'm gonna look for something with less mechanics.
Ah, yes. So our good
So it
friend
worked
James
out. It worked out
here,
pretty well.
he was saying puzzle, simulation, and roguelike. So we have here a roguelike. We'll call it a simulation because you're a skeleton. Simulates being a skeleton.
Skeletress.
That's right. And the inventory system and character stats is done through sort of a quasi Tetris / Resident Evil 4 inventory style thing. So like you kill people and you get blocks, Tetris blocks, and then you place them in your inventory, and then that denotes how strong your character is. It's kind of like that one. Anyways, we'll get into it when you download it. But it's like that one Tetris game you talked to me about that one time. You know that game. That game you talked about that one time in that place. The game with the thing.
Do you mean Stacker?
Yeah, see, and you know what I'm talking about.
Channel.
Exactly.
Let me get my.
The Stalker remake?
Is it a demake?
Yeah, the
Is it a
Stalker
Stalker
demake.
demake? Yeah, okay.
No, the other one.
It's based
Not
off
this
Stalker
one.
though. Stacker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me just get my Sharon working.
Boy. Music. Just the black screen for me right now, though. I don't know if anyone else is getting it.
Yeah, but it's a black screen on my side as well. Like something about trying to stream it is making it die. So.
Is it full
I'll just
screen? Can you maybe
do
play it in a
screen.
window or?
No, it's just windowed. Yeah, I'm gonna restart it and just we'll just have to not have the music, I guess.
Oh, indie games. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think the music's super important for this.
Here, I might just do it through my camera.
Oh. Eric, you're saying Breakout has a touch of frog fractions to it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's like a narrative. But I did not get far enough to see much of it.
I'll let you know right after this. All right, Skeltress. James, James, are you there?
Sorry, I'm just making my scene
Okay.
here a little
I
bit.
thought we lost your mic.
All right, there we go.
Fancy. So, turn-based roguelike. Grab
How's this?
items
This
as
all
you
working?
go. Yep.
Head controls on the website.
Yeah, I think it's just WASD, and here I can pull it up for you. Yeah, WASD to move, walk into something, or click on it to attack, space to skip your turn, E for equipment. It's a rogue. It's a rogue.
We'll figure it out. I'll just turn on my... Hold on.
Look at him. He's so cute.
Sorry, I just want to change my mic to voice activity so I don't have to keep holding down my push to talk. All right.
Beauty. I think
We
that's
walk around. Whoa,
yeah,
look at that.
I think
We got
that's
grid-based movement, but you gotta kind of wait for him to walk around. It's fun and dandy. Whoa.
look at that animation.
Hope this
Better
spider
attack
web
it.
doesn't hurt me.
Perfect. We're learning.
Ah.
So this looks super neat. Partly because the thing that stuck out for me is the inventory system. So once you get a couple kills in here, you'll sort of see how that plays out.
We've got. Oh, look at that!
Look at that map.
Extremely
Look at that
roguelike
map.
looking map. Like there's a we can tell from
It's a
our map
frog.
that there is definitely an F up there.
Watch out for that F. It's a sleeping F.
Hold on. Okay, there we go.
Go.
Ha!
Okay, so you can pick that up.
Got lucky.
Okay, and then open your inventory. And then you can put it into your equipment up above. And I think it'll affect the stats that you have there on the side.
Yes, small artifact.
Huh.
So your strength is now 2, I think,
I'll
right?
just store it like that.
Or your defense was
Interesting.
2. So you can also turn it, I think. There's a way you can rotate it, or maybe it
Yeah.
just comes that way.
That's what I'm trying to. Hold on.
Rotate item R. There.
That's
And
better.
then so it'll play out different stats depending on how you put it in, basically.
Here,
So you
we're gonna let
also,
this
if you pick up weapons or anything like that, they need to get into that equipment slot as well too, if you want to have it equipped. There you go, potion or something. Sorry. I think you could
Well,
throw
it's just a
things as
potion.
well. So if you like have something in your hand and you click on an enemy or something, I think you'll throw it.
Where's my? Okay, there's my health. I see. Good thing these sleepy frogs fall asleep as soon as they move.
Get 'em.
Yeah, so I'm using typical roguelike strategy of waiting for guys to move towards me before I attack them.
This ain't your first rodeo. Ooh, where's that gonna go? I'm not sure what those like extra pips do. Maybe they count for 2 or something like that.
Maybe it's just to make them look more interesting. I don't know.
Maybe, yeah.
Or be distinguishable from each other. I thought I remembered seeing in the videos for this people like dragging these off or something, but maybe I'm.
Oh, interesting.
that up.
Maybe.
I like the little weight animation. Is this my?
Yeah, I wonder what would happen if you
No, that's my
made
HP.
made a row.
Like connected it all the way over. Yeah. Well, you could do that right now if you take your purple and move it all the way up. See what happens.
Uh,
Because then your
Oh, right,
second
I'll
your
make that
second
row there.
row will be complete. Yeah.
no, I think they just have to fit or something.
Okay.
Couple doors.
It's such weird looking doors.
Yeah, it is really weird looking, but I love the animation on it. There's something just so simple about it. Like the line of sight's really cool. I like how they do the lighting. Go. Did it.
Nothing behind me but spooky black morass.
Dead sleepy frogs.
Oh, I think I got an item.
No weapons.
Got some kind of unlocks down here too. Oh, here we go.
Small artifact.
Flying.
Defense +1. You gotta go pick
Oh,
it
I
up.
have to be standing on it, I think. Or at least next to it anyway.
Oh, look at that. Okay, yeah, so that's gonna block off you being able to
Yeah,
fill
so
up
now
certain
it's
places.
getting
Yeah,
tricky.
okay.
What is this? Looks like a trap or something.
Probably. Just go for it. See what
There's no way to
happens.
get around it. Let's see what happens. What is this thing? Oh. never mind.
Decoration. It's fun.
Right.
Ooh.
Oh.
Weird
That
looking
looks
person.
dangerous.
Okay, this guy's
What
alright.
was it? Hover over it? What's it called?
Oh, sorry. We'll
was it?
probably see another one.
Dagger of Pain. There you go. So that's got to go in your equipment somewhere if you want to equip it. There you go. So now you'll attack with it. As long as it's in your equipment. Pretty sure that's how that works.
Or I think I can right click it to throw it or something.
Yeah. Right click
No,
to
that just
store.
stores it. Never mind.
Yeah, there is a way to throw, but
Yeah.
you probably attack with it too.
I'm pretty sure you'll
Oh,
just
here we
attack
go.
with it.
Dagger attack.
Yeah.
Right, okay. Interesting.
Oh, what's that? Bucket. Fun. Rogues are great. One day I'll make a rogue. Says the game developer.
I'm working on one right now. So when do I click on it? Oh no, see that just deactivates it, I see.
Well, there is a 7-day roguelike jam, so
Ah, that's true.
Sure.
you could do that when it happens.
Ooh, lots of things. Can you put 2 daggers in there? What happens?
Yep.
Dual
Still
wielding.
don't know how to throw it though.
So I think when you have it like clicked on and it's like on your mouse, then you click on another enemy, you'll throw it.
Oops. Trying to see if there's any way I can equip this stuff or not. So we got defense, defense vitality. I wonder if there's a tighter way to pack these.
There you go.
I don't think I'm gonna be able to fit all of them though. No, not quite. Well, whatever. I'll go with that for now.
All right, throw your dagger at somebody and then we can. Oh my god.
So, how did you think you threw it?
So yeah, click on it from your inventory so it's on your mouse. There you go. Now click on the enemy. Hiya!
Oh, interesting.
Now that works a lot better when they're not right next to you. But yes.
Well, I gained a level, doesn't matter. What is this guy? So I could definitely equip this guy too.
There you go.
I don't want to throw my dagger because I want to have it to attack with.
Throw the potion at him.
Yeah,
What
the
happens?
potions are all healing potions.
Well, maybe it'll hurt him.
I don't think so.
Only one way to find out.
Lots of stuff. Now you're cooking. Yo, yeah, okay. So you could just put stuff in your inventory if you don't want to use it. Yeah, okay. I bet there's something with those little runey shapes. They can't just be
Yeah.
there for no reason. There's got to be something where you line them up and something happens too, right?
Well,
That's
I've
what I
got
would
2 of them
do.
lined up here, but they don't match. So I wonder if I
Like a
match
whole
these up.
line across, right? There's got to be something like.
Yeah, but I'm curious if even just like if I take some of this off. Thankfully, it doesn't take up moves to do any of this. If I just put that there, oops, Is there a way to get them beside each other? I was hoping that would do something, but it doesn't seem like it does.
You can put your, yeah.
Oh, damn it. Which ones do I want to have? I definitely want to have this one.
Why is inventory management always so satisfying?
Didn't
Love
expect
to
him
organize.
do
I
a
know.
tourney dagger.
But not in the real world, only in video games.
That's good enough.
All right, get to the next level, and then we'll wrap the show up.
I like the dagger above your head is now sideways.
Yes.
Oh, is it? Oh, cool. Yeah.
Accurate.
Huh. If you had the dagger upside down, would it be pointing down at your head?
Probably. Oops.
Neat. Why not?
Nice touch.
Why not?
Yeah, that's a small artifact. Maybe we find some bigger ones later. Whoa, spook door.
A locked door, maybe? Doomtown.
Welcome to Doomtown.
Oh, is this a store?
Oh. Path to take. Huh. There's a story in here. That's cool. That far. A lot of flavor. Cool. Shall we maybe stop it here?
Yeah, we can end it here, I think.
Slide along. This was fun.
What is this music that's playing?
Oh, we're not
Oh,
getting,
am I only
we're not
getting that on
getting
my
music
side?
over here. Is it good? Is it good music? Spooky music?
It's interesting. It definitely changed very radically from the previous music that was playing. It's got a real twang to it now.
Cool. Well, folks, did you enjoy your Christmas presents this year?
Yeah.
It was a lovely dirty Santa.
Nobody
very
got
nice.
coal.
Lots of fun. Nope.
Hell yeah! Congratulations. Another year in the bag. We'll be back in 2022 doing whatever it is we're gonna do in 2022. Who knows?
Woo.
Yep.
New year, new deal.
Yeah, we've already got some interesting potential presenters lined up, but we're always looking for more. So if you hit us up on the website or on the Discord or on Twitter, get them in.
Yeah.
We're always interested to see what people are doing, what they're up to.
Twitter.com/dirty rectangles, Twitter.com/rectangles_TO, dirtyrectangles.com, dirtyrectangles.com/Discord. You can get on our Discord. There is a channel in there. If you want to present, you can hit us up there or any of the other ways. It's all good. Thanks for joining us, everybody. We will be back in a bit.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Happy
Thanks,
holidays.
everybody.
Safe travels if you're traveling. Take a break. Sit on your butt for a bit. You deserve it. That's our
Play some
message.
itch.io games.
Yeah, head over to itch.io. We'll see if we can post some of these links over on Twitter at some point in time. Share some love. And we'll be back next year. All right. I am not prepared. Wait, I am now. All right. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Cheers, everybody.
Bye.
Eric McQuiggan, you're muted. Bye.
Not.
Okay.